JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 8th of February 2022. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Tuesday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website and specifically our JFD research page, which is also which is also updated on a daily basis. So yep, check us out here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. So now then, so yeah, first of all, good morning to everybody. I mean, I can see in the chat room here, yep, Evo, good morning to you too. Good morning to everybody else who's joining in. So I hope everybody's having a wonderful start of Tuesday. So yeah, guys, again, let's pick up on some of the instruments that we looked at yesterday just to see how everything's kind of getting along. So yeah, Nikkei continues to kind of trade here below this downside line. It did have an attempt today to break this downside line, and it did. It did move a little bit higher here, but yeah, it still managed to stay below this downside line. So, in other words, and it continues to oscillate around this lowest point of October, as you can see here, this 27,293, yep, something like that. So what I'm going to say right now is that I will still kind of remain neutral probably on this one, because on one hand we do have an index which is trading below a downside line. On the other hand, we do have an index which seems to kind of forming somewhat of maybe a possible bullish flag here, or a pennant maybe, but again, not an ideal one. So that's why, you know, this scenario might not work out as well. So we just have to wait for that confirmation break. So for me, for the upside, I need to see a push somewhere above this, as I said before, a push above somewhere above this 27,594 zone right here. And also at the same time, a push above the 21-day EMA, yep, could do the trick for a few more buyers. In terms of the downside, a drop below the 26,955 territory would be needed. Now, jumping into DAX, the German index. So, yeah, drifted higher yesterday a little bit here. So, bit of positivity in the DAX world. Now, still the same, to be honest. I'm not going to repeat myself, but the same analysis remains basically here, because again, as I mentioned before, I'm looking at this as being a wider range here, but at the same time, from the maybe short-term perspective, I mean, we can see that it's yeah, it could be a double top pattern here, and at the same time it could be something like here, like a head and shoulders pattern, which, so basically we have two patterns which are leaning a little bit more towards the downside, and a third pattern which is the range here, which is leaning towards the neutrality. So for now, again, if you're looking for something a little bit more concrete, well, at the moment I would say it's a bit of a tricky one, because again, if you're looking for some downside, then a drop below this 15,000 mark, somewhere around here, is needed. If you're looking for some upside, ideally, of course, I would prefer to see a push above the 15,728 zone, However, we could maybe start already looking at some higher levels. If we jump back above this downside line, this upside line needs to go. There we go. And if we do jump back above this downside line here, and maybe at the same time we could jump above the 200-day EMA. So yeah, more buyers could join in. So anyway, for now, I would say it's you know, the situation where we just have to wait and see. And to be honest, I mean, I rather take that position because again, I don't like it here, and it could be, you know, it could be still choppy here, it could move sideways, so that's why I rather wait. Now jumping into NASDAQ 100. So NASDAQ 100 is yeah, it drifted lower yesterday. Let me just check if I can no, wait, where's that? Let me just go here very quickly. Let me just check out quickly the stock heat map. Yep. Okay, so what happened yesterday here? So yeah, we had technology sectors kind of drifting a little bit to the downside. So yeah, not a huge kind of gainer in that field. Good performance was seen. Let me just quickly check something else here. Good performance was seen in basic materials. So yeah, those kind of managed to improve. Energy was a gainer as well. However, yeah, communication services. That's kind of, you know, technology and like your companies like Verizon here, T-Mobile, yep. So yeah, those were not in the best area. However, as you can see here, but it's a little bit yeah, technology was a loser as well. Maybe they got pulled out by something else here. Okay, let's leave it here. But in general, it was a bit of a mixed kind of story yesterday. So yeah, not a huge excitement here on NASDAQ, for example. Yeah, we did drift lower a little bit. Initially, we pushed higher, yes, but it found resistance again near this downside line. So again, I'm sticking to the same idea as I said previously. As long as it kind of stays in here in this little area, I'm going to take a neutral stand. And by the way, this level can go, no longer needed. Maybe we could keep an eye on this one right here, this 14,856, roughly around here. So yeah, as long as it stays inside this this kind of below this downside line but above this 14,385 zone, then yeah, we will I'll take a bit of a neutral stand. If it breaks one of those, then this is when I will reevaluate everything again. Now, jumping into DXY, another index, and this is a dollar index. So I talked about this one yesterday, and I said that keep your eyes on it because we might see a bit of a rebound here, yeah, we got that rebound, but as you can see, the 23.6% retracement on the Fibonacci continues to provide this resistance. Now, what I said before, that if we pop above it, then yes, we'll slowly start aiming for the 38.2% retracement on the Fibonacci, and then maybe the 50. But at the moment, we're struggling with this, so I am not rushing into anything here. And most importantly, let me just remove this line, no longer needed. And most importantly, I'm going to keep an eye on this 95.14 zone right here, which is currently the lowest point of February. If that gets broken, now that's where a bit more excitement could come in. Gold, jumping into gold. Looking at this picture here, yes, we have a push above this barrier. I talked about this yesterday, if you remember, this 1811 zone. So we popped above it. We popped above the 21-day EMA, and we stayed above it. So in a way, for now, everything's kind of looking quite positive here. We could see maybe a further move north. However, keeping an eye on this 1830 zone right here, and then yes. Then yes, we will take it from there. That's going to be my next target. I'm going to aim for this level as long as we stay above that 21-day EMA. Now, jumping into WTI Oil very quickly. So we had a bit of a drift lower, so that's fine here. It's a bit of a corrective move here, so everything's okay. However, I'm not saying that we are now getting bearish or something. No, I mean, for us to get a little bit more bearish on this front, we need to see a break of this upside downside line. For the upside, pretty straightforward. As I said before, 93.14 level, that's what I'm looking at. In order to go for some higher levels, it needs to see a break of that, because such a move here would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and potentially more buyers could join in. So at the moment, guys, this again, this territory for me is not ideal, and I'm just watching it and I'm just observing the price action. I need some sort of I need some more clarity on this. Now, jumping into the crypto world, Ripple is on fire, guys. I mean, look at this. This is the most kind of, the best performer in the, let me just, crypto heat map. There we go. So let me just have a look at that one. Bitcoin, yep, good performance. But look at this. I mean, from the top kind of, the top 5 or 3, I would say, cryptos here, Ripple is the best performer. Certainly, there are some other cryptos that are performing quite well as well. But yep, from, let's say, your Bitcoins, your Ethereums, and your Ripples, Ripple is is currently the best one in terms of performance. However, if you manage to capture this, guys, wonderful. I mean, congratulations, good result here. It could continue, of course, pushing further north. I mean, we're currently getting a hold up near this 200-day EMA. However, what I'm considering maybe is, yes, it might continue pushing further north, but maybe a bit of a retracement at some point could be possible here. Maybe it's somewhere here. And then, yeah, we could maybe, go again to the upside. So, long story short, for now, everything's looking quite positive. But, we kind of already had this move, so be very careful. Maybe a bit of a corrective move could be possible as well. And then, maybe not today, but maybe tomorrow. And then, yeah, we'll take it from there. Ethereum, guys, also slowly climbing higher. It seems that this is at the moment it's Ripple's kind of moment of of fame right now. However, Ethereum is slowly grinding higher. Yes, I mean, everything's still working out well here. What's the next target here? Well, for me, it's the 200-day EMA together with the 100-day EMA. So basically, roughly around that 3,400 zone, something like that, approximately around there, guys. That's going to be my next target, and then I'm going to take it from there. For now, as long as it stays above this upside support line, taken from the low, the 24th of January, yes, we will continue aiming higher. AUDJPY. So yeah, finally, this is what I talked about yesterday, guys, when I covered AUDJPY. That wait for it, because we were very close to the this downside line. So yeah, I mean, there was a good kind of indication that we could see a break of this downside line. So in other words, for now, we have tested already this 82.28 zone, but we're still flirting with this. I need to see a better move higher here. You need to see maybe a stronger move above this 82.28 zone to get a little bit more comfortable with further advances. At the moment, everything's looking quite positive, of course. However, we only got the break. What I'm just curious that so that we wouldn't get something like a sharp reversal by the end of the day here, and where we will end up being back below this downside line. If that's the case, then we'll have ourselves a nice little false breakout. And maybe then, yes, it will show that the pair is not really ready yet to to go higher. At the moment, everything's kind of leaning towards that. Everything's leaning towards towards the upside. So yeah, I'm gonna stick to that idea for now. But I'll get a little bit more comfortable if we get a push above that 82.28 level again. USDJPY, quick update. So nice good push above this downside line as well. So everything's looking quite nice here for the buyers. So yeah, I'm gonna stick to the upside, to be honest, as long as it stays above this downside line. If it suddenly falls back below it, I'm gonna take a bit of a careful approach. But if it starts falling somewhere below this 21-day EMA, now that's where it could become a little bit more interesting for a few more sellers, guys, because maybe at the same time we could get a break of this upside line taken from the low of the 24th of January, and then we'll take it from there. Now jumping into USDCAD, guys. USDCAD is drifted nicely to the downside yesterday, as you can see here. Today we're having that little rebound. Can we get another push here to the downside? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. For now, oil is drifting to the downside a little bit, so everything's kind of, would say, leaning a little bit, for a weaker dollar here against the US dollar, but still, anything can change. I'm not saying that this is, a huge reversal sign here for oil, because it could still drift a little bit lower, test the upside line, and then reverse sharply back to the upside. So that's why don't get confused right now with USDCAD, because it might, kind of start, trading here sideways a little bit below this downside line, but above this 1.2650 zone. And this is what I need. I need to see a break of this downside line. Downside line. A break of this. I need to see a break of this downside line in order to go for for some higher levels. But for the upside, that's for the upside. For the downside, I need to see a break of this 1.2650 zone in order to get a little bit more comfortable with the downside. So in other words, all this area right excuse me guys, my voice is going down. All this area right here is a bit of a neutral one for me, because at the same time, what I want to say is that depending on how all this is going to play out, because maybe on one hand we will have ourselves something of a descending triangle with where the kind of greater likelihood for it will be to break to the downside. However, on the other hand, maybe this ensemble will be seen as a as a nice kind of a pennant, bullish pennant. So again, there's a lot of things to consider. In either way, either case, I mean, we still need a confirmation break. GBP USD, very quickly on that. GBP USD is, it drifted a little bit lower here, drifted back down. However, it's again back above this downside line. Now, one thing for sure is, of course, to probably get rid of this downside line, because to be honest, it's no longer valid, because we violated it a few times. One thing that I can keep an eye on here is this upside line taken from the low of the 20th of December, and we have this downside line, which a newly established downside line, which I'm keeping an eye on as well, because well, let's face it, we need to see a clear break through one of those lines here, one of those trend lines, in order to go for for a next short-term directional move. And also, I would say for me right now, the more viable option is to keep an eye on the current highest point of February near the 1.3628 level right here. For the that's for the upside. For the downside, I will take a bit of a careful approach here and cautious approach, and I would rather stick to this little territory right here, this 1.3437 zone around here somewhere, in order to kind of wait for a kind of an opening here for lower levels. So, and at the same time, we would be breaking the upside line as well. So keep that in mind. And finally, Euro USD, guys. Euro USD drifted a little bit lower today, as you can see here. However, it's nothing really major, because to be honest, everything's in line here, because we're currently seeing maybe a bit of a retracement just like that. So we have already retraced to 23.6% here on the Fibonacci. So the big question here is, can we rebound from this and move up again? Either way, if you're looking for something a little bit more reassuring, maybe a push above this barrier here, the 1.1483 zone, which perfectly played out as a good area of resistance recently. So yeah, maybe that could be monitored. So keep an eye on this one. Also, yeah, keep your eyes on let's say if this 23.6% retracement breaks, we could then drift towards that 38.2, closer to the 21-day EMA, and then from there we could try to see if it can rebound and then move higher again. For me, let's say to get very bearish on this one, I would need to see it drop back below this downside line, and then yeah, we could start looking at some lower levels. So yeah, guys, that's it for this session. This was a very quick one, so I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for joining in and watching till the end. I really appreciate your views, your likes, your comments, guys. Really do. So thank you for that. If you want to catch me tomorrow morning, as always, in my Traders Espresso, that's 7 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a wonderful trading day. Don't overtrade. Stay safe. Have your stop loss in place, and everything will be fine. So thank you very much, and bye-bye.